The Hustle Share podcast is sponsored by Aspire. Trusted by 15,000 businesses across Asia, Aspire offers a unified suite of financial services, allowing businesses to make fast international payments to 130-plus countries, global payments at the best FX rates, and open multi-currency accounts in US dollars, euros, Great British Pound, Singaporean dollars, Indonesian rupiah, and more. All accessible on via a single user-friendly platform, Aspire. And also by Uno Digital Bank, a full-spectrum digital bank licensed and regulated by the BSP. Manage your money and maximize its potential growth with a secure and trusted bank that fits right in your pocket. Open a savings or time deposit account, pay bills, shop with the Uno Virtual Debit MasterCard, or apply for a loan in the Uno mobile app today. The Hustle Share podcast is sponsored by Lark, the leading super app for work in Southeast Asia. Frustrated with juggling and paying for multiple tools for work? Hate mixing personal and business messages? Improve your team's productivity by 10 times with Lark, which combines business chat, email, video conferencing, calendar, project management, real-time translation, and much more into one super app. Trusted by companies like Xiaomi, Glints, Kumu, and Mamaluz. Get it for free at larksuite.com today. This podcast is brought to you by Salmon, your trusted source for all your financial needs. Whether you're looking for easy financing with low down payments and fast approval, or seeking high returns with their 8.88% interest on time deposits, Salmon has you covered. Visit salmon.ph today and discover how they can help you achieve your financial goals. Rural Bank of Santa Rosa Laguna, Incorporated, is regulated by the BSP. Email consumeraffairs@bsp.gov.ph. Deposits are insured by PDIC up to 500,000 pesos per depositor.
Whenever I pitch, whenever I talk to investors, I email after. Hey, can you give me some feedback? What do I need to improve on? So I want to grow as a person. And you know, they're very generous.
Yeah.
Vince,
and nobody does that, huh? So that's a nice. That's a nice.
Yeah. So you ask them, they will tell you.
Welcome to Hustle Share, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Baetiong.
Welcome to today's episode of the Hustle Share podcast. I'm super happy because we finally got another Tomasian back to back. Okay. Again, I have a bias in this startup ecosystem. Actually, no, in anywhere that I do. If it's a fellow Tomasian, obviously, I resonate very well. And again, I'm always rooting for the Tomasians, not because I love UST, not just because of that, but of course I do. It's because there's not too many of us in the startup ecosystem. So now I'm happy whenever there's more and more people breaking through and actually give back, because it's breaking through isn't enough. And this guy's already given back several times. When was the last time I saw you? UST, right? The Tart.
UST.
Yeah. Right. So
we went to UST. We spoke there.
Yeah, correct. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show the founder and CEO of the Milo app, Mr. Vince Rocha. Whoop, whoop. Vince, finally, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's nice to tell our story, of course, to a fellow Tomasian. And we also hope that I also hope that we can get more and more Tomasian startup guys.
Yes.
I know it's a little bit difficult to do your own venture, but then again, it would be nice to have more to help out the country and the world, right?
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree. Now, again, before I get carried away, I need to ask you the $1 million question. Vince, what's your hustle?
So my hustle is Milo Speech Buddy. It's a speech development system for children with autism and speech delay. It's a technology. It's a company that I made for my son, who was diagnosed with autism at 2 years old.
Oh no!
To give you a background too, I'm also an entrepreneur. I had 7 businesses in the past. Pretty long career also in the corporate world as a sales guy. Highest position was a sales director as well. So pretty much I'm quite lucky because my experience more or less has helped
Yeah.
the company grow better.
Yep. And
That's
it
my
always
hustle.
translates. And I totally agree. And I love your story. This is something that's also personal to me. I don't know if I ever got to tell you, but in the grade school, this is my life pre-UST because I went to UST High School College. In the grade school that I attended, it was normal to be classmates with students with special needs. The name of the school is Community of Learners. So I had classmates who were deaf. I have classmates
Exactly.
who had Down syndrome. I have classmates who had autism. So a lot of them I'm still friends still now, and I know how difficult it is to be that. But actually, no. Growing up, they never felt any different. They're my dudes, right? I just know that they there's quirks and all that, but we don't. Hindsight being 2020, it's they're my dudes. Okay, they're my friends.
Yeah.
And yes, they might require extra help in terms of education, but they're nothing more or less than we are. Actually, some of them are even smarter. I remember being them like, holy crap, they're so good. And I'd copy from them
Yeah.
sometimes. There you go.
Yeah, that's actually a great story to tell you frankly. I already knew about that.
Mm.
That you were from a community of learners.
Oh, okay.
I got
Perfect.
that news from one of the startup ladies also in the industry.
Ah, right.
Hey,
Yes.
Ina.
Ina. There you go. Chang. I call her
Yeah,
Chang now. Chang Ina.
yeah, that's true. So, which is sabi ko, that's really quite nice because sabi niya, she told me before, Vince,
Mm,
dun sa school namin, yeah, we joke around, nag-aasaran kami,
mm,
naglalaro kami with the children with special needs. And what I like about that is, alam mo yun, there's no barrier. You don't look at them as iba.
No.
Which is one of the things that we're trying to push right now.
Mm.
First is awareness that what their condition is. Second is yung acceptance. And that I
Correct.
believe is the right acceptance eh. Na
Mm.
parang, wala, normal lang. Na parang,
Yeah.
this is the standard, right?
Mm.
And I think they're very lucky to have you as classmates because growing up, parang they can look back at, wait, that was a happy school life, right? Na
Yep.
hindi ako outcast.
Nope.
So, but yeah, that's a nice story. That's something that we're trying to push right now
Yeah.
in the community as well. And I hope that we can reach more and more people. Ang ganda ng story niyo, sobra.
Yeah, but there's one more. That's why I highly respect you. And this one's personal because I have an employee in Podcast Network Asia. She has a child also who had speech delay, also had autism, single mom. So
Oh,
I know the type of she got pregnant very early. She had her early. But I know the type of extra TLC that's needed to provide and to give her son the needed time and attention. And now her son's thriving. She's madaldal. Man, super kulit. Whenever we're doing a call, I already know, ooh, there's going to be some crazy stuff going on at the back. But it's all good. But what I'm saying is that I'll just say this very early in the episode that you're doing God's work. I have nothing but respect for parents like you because I myself have someone in my team who's doing her best to provide for her son who has autism, and I know she also had speech delay. So we work with her work schedules a little bit to make sure that when it comes to school, she's able to bring her son to school. So there, very nice.
That's I mean I love it that you really you told that story because para for me you know how it is.
Mm.
This is something that's happening quite often talaga. before we didn't know it. I have a
Yeah.
theory eh.
Mhm.
Alam mo yung mga tinatawag natin na taong grasa?
Yep.
People, when we were younger, we called them like baliw, right?
Mm.
They have their own world. They can't take care of themselves.
Mm.
They were left out by the society, by their family.
Mm.
But when you go, but when you see them, they're smiling. They're just thinking. They're pacing around, walking back and forth.
Yep.
And those are some signs that the person has autism.
Wow.
So all our life, we're judging them as baliw.
Mm-mm.
When we were young, na parang, alam mo yun, pero if they were diagnosed, I mean, if we learned early on that, for example, this guy, he just can't verbalize, he just can't speak. But in his mind right now, may mga nangyayari, may mga naisip siya. Alam mo yun, it's functioning right. He just can't verbalize. And there's just some issues with regards to repetition of movements, steaming. Di ba parang nakita ko yun, sabi ko, parang I've had some cases when I was younger, tapos parang lalayo ko sa kanila kasi I felt that they're weird, I felt that they're different, di ba? Tapos ngayon, nung tinitingnan ko, sabi ko, I should have known better.
Yeah.
That's why we're pushing for awareness. Once we're more aware, mas may magagawa tayo. Di ba parang, medyo na mindfuck ka doon. Parang, oo nga, no?
Yeah.
Di ba?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Because I grew up with them eh. Again, I kind of know in one glance. Even till now, I have a radar. Okay, that person has special disabilities. Because again, they manifest in a lot of ways. They're not one size fits all, by the way. Because I've seen a few. I think every class in community of learners has one or two that we integrate. And we grow with them. So some guys are maingay, some are pace around, and some are just they do this. I get it. I get it right away. And the first thing that I feel all the time, if you're ignorant, you'll be like, "Ala, who's this? Weird." You'll back away or back off, iwas, right? But what I feel is empathy, because again, I grew up with the people with these special needs, so I know they're the kindest pa nga, majority of the time. There. Anyway, before we get emotional, real quick, this is a talk about you muna and your hustle. I need you to buckle up real quick, because before we talk about Milo and your life's calling, because I'm pretty sure this is beyond you na at this point. This is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. I need you to buckle up real quick, because we're going to have to ride the Hustle Share Time Machine. All right, before we talk about Daddy Vince, he was a Budolero Vince first. And before Budolero Vince, there was other student Vince and the normal Vince. So obviously you studied in USC, but I want to understand two things. First off, what was it like in the family that you're part of, and what was the very first exposure of hustling that you remember, that you learned from?
Oh, bro. I would be censoring some stuff.
Okay.
But early on, when we were in high school.
Okay. Where did you study high school muna?
We studied in St. Mary's Academy in Pasay.
Okay.
So what we did was, wala pa dati before na mga Wi-Fi, right, or fast connections. Okay. Diba? Yung group ko, we were parang mga gamers kami. So we played
Dota
Tekken,
boys.
we played
Counter boys.
everything, like yeah. So there was a point in time in our life where yung kaibigan namin has a very fast connection sa internet.
Okay.
So what we do is we download a lot of movies, a lot of etc.
Oh my God.
Tapos, binibenta namin sa school namin. Tapos pagkatapos, pag makabenta kami, pero may pang computer shop, di ba?
Yeah.
So, it was, we didn't know, I mean, we were very young back then. It was piracy pala yung ginagawa namin. But anyway, there was a certain niche that I cannot disclose that actually were like repeat purchasers eh. And
Oh.
so from the school per se. So that's something that
Suki.
we suki as in bibili na every week gano'n ng bagong bagong typo.
Okay. Kasi only had dial-up
Material.
probably. Mhm.
So I was that's very funny parang early on ano na kami ng content.
I know what type of content you need. I'll say it na lang. Maybe it's not like
Wag.
Kardashian.
Hindi.
Okay.
I would not confirm nor deny.
It's all good.
It can be games.
That's why I'm saying it. It's not you. So I'm just like throwing out some time capsules out there, stuff we grew up on. You know, what I mean? That's so funny. But I get it. I totally get the hustle. I remember one solid entrepreneur also who was I think first year of Hustle Share had this same hustle. He was a burner. His name is Elard Caperal. One of the he was a founder of I forgot. Sorry, Cap Elard, my bad if I forgot the name of the startup. But he worked in Kumu for a long time when they were peaking. Oh, so I was like, wow. And that's his hustle. I remember he saying that what you call this? He was a burner.
Yeah.
So okay. Hustle, when you did that, obviously just to make ends meet, so you can play computer and have open time wherever you're gonna go. So it's not like 2 hours lang patay. Open time yan, Matic. Okay?
Yeah.
After that, you obviously studied now in UST and you took up HRM in Quezon's Queendom. Okay, why did you? How was that like? And what did you learn from your very very nice hustle where you're surrounded by hot women? That's where all the guys want to go, and you're right smack in the middle of it. Lucky bastard.
So to be transparent, to be honest, also that's not actually one of my how I look at it before.
Really now? Okay.
Talagang nagmamilo branding pa rin. So,
morally right now.
No. To me, so during that time, I was really good in cooking. So, but that's the time when I learned to drink. College di ba?
Panulak.
So,
lasing. Panulak of what you eat.
Lasing ko, as in talagang, lagi kami lasing. Lagi kami lasing ng mga college friends ko.
Pinoval, Lacson, or Espanya?
Dapitan, malapit sa inyo. There was some space there sa may Dapitan na parang, as in, like, walang tao. Tawag namin na Blue House.
Okay, Brew House.
Tapos, we just like buy like MP. Tapos, after class. So, that's, alam na. So, there was a point in time na parang nalaman before na ang dad ko na talagang, well, nalasing ako pero umuwi ako before 12. And my curfew, they call me before Cinderella boy, na kailangan makarating ako ng bahay ng alas 12. So it's funny, parang yung nalaman ng dad ko before na umiinom ako. Tapos nag-grounded ako noon. Bro, I live in Pasay.
Okay.
So, ang pamasahe ko nun before was 44 pesos.
Okay.
So, ginound ako ng dad ko. Ang binigyan sa akin allowance, 40 pesos. Sabi ko, kulang pa yung pamasahe ko pumunta school. And that happened for months.
Okay.
So, sabi ko, paano kaya ako hanap ng extra income? So, alam mo, di ba, we're HRM, right? We're cooking and all.
Yeah.
So, ngayon, ang ginawa ko, sabi ko sa mga class namin, kasi namamalengke kami sa SM. Sabi ko, ako namamalengke sa Cartimar kasi malapit lang sa bahay ko yun.
Yep.
Cartimar sa may Pasay.
Yep. Where
So,
the
ngayon,
shoes are, the knock-up A1 shoes near Libertad. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And there's a very complete palengke there. So ngayon, during that time, parang ang ginagawa ko, ako na mag-market sa atin. So, I was buying like 10 kilos of pork, 10 kilos of, so parang dami. Tapos may bag pa ako, tapos naka-chef jacket pa ako para mapasok sa school. So pagkatapos na parang, syempre, natutunan ko yung suki tawad, suki, tamang resibo so in essence, sabi ko, siguro naman I should pay for my pagod, di ba? Kasi this is not part of the grades eh.
Correct.
Di ba? So this is extra work na mamamalengke ko. Dala-dala ko 30
Yeah.
kilos
To make
papunta
the
school.
4 pesos, that's kulang.
No, syempre hindi lang. Syempre isip ko, para may panginom din ako, di ba? Hindi pwede 4 pesos lang. Nagulat yung mom ko and dad ko before na parang, grounded si Bes, bakit umuwi pa rin itong lasing? so, 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 wala siyang pera. So ngayon, doon parang, kasi baka ko dati parang 100 per day yung regular. Gulat sila na parang, kumikita pa ako ng parang 1,000 something per week pa during that time.
Not bad.
Kasi, it's not bad. It's not bad. Tapos, after college, kinuwento ko sa mga klase ko.
Okay.
Yung ginagawa ko. Nagalit yung iba sa akin. Sabi ko, parang, Viz, grabe naman yung ginawa mo. Sabi ko, oy, teka. Pagpunta ko noon, 30 kilos, papasok ng school, tapos kayo papasok lang. And you know what? Ano pong tawag doon? Sabi ko sa kanila, that's outsourcing.
There you go.
That's BPO. Yes. Purchaser niyo ako.
Yep. No, you feel the
anyway,
need.
hindi ko alam kung galit pa rin sinaalala pa rin. Yeah. It's there. I mean, syempre, dapat mo reward yung pagod mo, di ba? It's not part of the school.
All they did was chop and cook, and then plating.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's got to step up. And you know what? You had to do what you had to do. At least your college life was great.
We gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah.
So now, you come through this. Was there in college? Because this is one thing that I really remember in college. Because I had all my kalokohan done. My whole high school up to first year college. I maxed it up. And then second year college, that's where in between first and second year college, that's where I worked in a call center. And that's how I learned how to speak like this. But then my whole perspective just changed already. I knew already how the real world was like. I knew how I didn't want to be an employee. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Because as Pataway by default. In Pasaway, it's like you in entrepreneurship, you dictate your own game per se. And I'm contrarian also by nature. So in college, did you have flashes of being mature already? Like, did you mature already at the start? I mean, the what you did to make ends meet, to so you can drink was technically a hustle already. But the why you're doing it was so you can still drink. But when did it start mature? When did you start maturing? Did it happen within college or this is after already?
I really can't define when the time I matured. But when I was younger, I had I always had a reflection time. Yung kakausapin ko yung sarili ko na parang, Vince, ano po gusto mong gawin? Tapos, gusto ko rin may pera. Tapos, now, from there, anong next step ko? So, let's say, for example, in college, dati mahihain ako. When I was younger, earlier, yung mga lolo ko, they called me Lady Lee. The Isa and Lady Lee, di ba? Kasi Lady Lee is parang mahihain. So, they call me mahihain. There are some cases na madadala ko, pero hindi ako ganun ka-social before. Yeah. So, during that time, and even for example, naliligaw ako dati, mahihain ako when I was in college. So, I did find that. I mean, I can speak like tuloy-tuloy like right now.
Yeah.
So, during that time, sabi ko, bakit ba ako mahihain? Bakit ba ako nahihiya sa sasabihin ko? Ano ba dapat kong gawin para kumapal yung mukha ko? Alam mo na nangyari. So, sumali akong pageant. Tapos,
okay.
So, I was there in stage. Sabi ko, this is it. Sabi ko, okay, this is a milestone. This is So, sabi ko, wala akong talent. Sabi ko, anong talent ko? Hindi ko alam. So, sabi ko, okay naman ako sa videoke. Nakita ako. Tapos, okay naman ako sa flare tending. So, dalawa yung talent ko, flare tending. And after that, ano naman nangyari? Parang best in talent na ako. Tapos, and there were and from there kasi like alam mo yung what the hell moments, like
Okay.
may gusto kang kausapin, for example, na professor, tapos nahihiya ka. Puro sulong ka, hindi mo alam kakausapin mo or hindi kasi hindi ka pa confident, di ba? Pero biglang sabi nila ng utak ko, what the hell, go. Lapit ako. So, alam mo, I think this is something that I realized na you have to declare, it's very important yung self-awareness. You have to look at your weaknesses.
Yep.
And you have to improve on them if you want. You also have to know your strengths.
Correct.
And maximize it. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng alagaan lang yung weakness mo and you'll be like, you want your weakness to be really great. Hindi. If your strength really is, for example, is this one, if we focus and really make it really grow.
Correct.
On the other
double
hand,
down.
Yung weakness mo, double down ka sa strength mo. Weakness mo, yung tama lang. Kasi kuha ka na, di ba? Sakto lang. So it's not a matter of, even right now that happens. Like for example, in every pitch, to be transparent with you, I'm just 1 year old sa startup industry, sa startup scene. Isang taon pa lang ako nung I think somewhere July, more or less. But whenever I pitch, whenever I talk to investors, I email after. Hey, can you give me some feedback? What do I need to improve on? So I want to grow as a person, And they're very generous.
Yeah.
Vince,
and nobody does that, so that's a nice. That's a nice.
Yeah. So you ask them, they will tell you. There was one VC nga, bro. Na parang, hey, this is my Lola. I understand that hindi tayo nag-push through with the investment, but I would like to hear your thoughts. Parang I would like to know what you think about Milo.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks after, man, they gave me like the analysis of the whole business. Like para akong kumuha ng consultant na, Vince, you have to improve this business. Sabi ko, parang ako nag-hire ng consultant.
Yep.
Because the study was extensive. So, and, I mean, these guys, the reason why the VCs, the reason why they talk to us really early is because they see the potential. They plant seeds na, di ba?
Yep.
And they see how you grow, they will support you. And when the time is right, kapag medyo hinog ka na, alaki nila, di ba? So, these VC guys, they want us to succeed.
Yep.
And the only reason I think right now that they don't invest with us is that may kulang pa.
Yes.
They have to look at the business sense. They like you, they know what you're doing. May konting kulang pa. But to a certain extent, if they see what they're trying to look for, they will. Diba?
Totally agree. And,
anyway.
No, and I love what you said because more than that's just they like you. It's their job. Okay. The business of venture capitalists is simple. Okay. They pull other people's money. Who are these people? HNWs, high net worth individuals, and also funds. What they do is they tell them, hey, I'd like to invest in startups. I'm gonna be great at discovering startups that can grow 10x, 100x, whatever. It's high risk, high reward. And it's the most expensive form of capital that you can get. And the reason why they want to, it's called deal flow and deal sourcing. And it's called also origination in the VC's playbook per se. They want to see how many startups are there. So it's their job to really hear pitches. But it's also their job to really screen and analyze the viability of that business to be VC fundable. When I say VC fundable, meaning will our business or will our fund grow at least 10x man lang? Or will this grow into $100 million company? So that we can bet it. The best way for you to show that is multiple forms. Obviously, it's team, TAM, and obviously the hardest one to get is traction, right? That's just generalizing it. But when VCs or analysts, whoever you talk to, actually talk to you, you're right, Vince. They're sourcing and they're making all this. They call it the investment thesis. So they really study you. They don't just take your word for it. They will research, validate, and see are there comparables ba, who's in the space, how big is the market, blah, 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 blah. That's why you got to treat your analysts well. Because after you pitch them, what happens is they actually pitch you. So average, right, Vince, in a proper investment meeting, probably an hour. You'll pitch that thing, and then you'll send all these documents. Sometimes when they pitch you in their IC, their investment committee, basically these are the people that tell them, okay, go ahead, get more information, or nope, kill that deal, or not yet. What it takes to pitch a startup inside is something less than 10 minutes. So all the info that you gave will be digested down to 10 minutes, and you need to equip your analyst with the best possible thing for you to do it. Now, what's in it for the analyst? Because if they invest in you, she has a carry. Like the commission. Yes. Yeah, there's a commission on them that, hey, I'm the one who got this deal. So of course they want you to get funded. But you gotta give them the bala.
Yeah.
So the IC will with that. When they say no, that's why I love what you did. There's reasons. Is it the TAM, the traction? Is it whatever? There's always a 10, and it's never just because of whatever. So the fact that you got to get your feedback means that you can improve on it. Because majority of no's are rarely never, but most of the time it's not yet.
Yep.
Okay.
So to be transparent with you as well right now, early on nasasaktan ako.
That's normal.
That's before. Like, bakit ako no? Bakit ako, di ba? Sabi ko, because I'm comparing our startup with the other startups.
Yep.
Di ba? So, bakit ganun? Parang first month ko palang 1,000 users na ako. Second month ko 3,000. Bakit auto-pass agad sila? Di ba? Not yet. Then I learned that they have a minimum check size.
Yes.
So may nagsabi sa akin, Vince, it's not your company, right? It's just too early for us as of now.
There's a mandate.
So sabi ko, pag sinabing too early, so I need to work harder. So dati yun yung nasa isip ko, I need to work harder. Hindi pala.
No.
It's too early. Talagang maaga ka pa lang, like you're less than a year old, marami ka pang pwedeng gawin, mas maganda. And kapag yung real traction is nasa parang $10,000, $20 a month, $20,000 a month or something quite heavier na, mas mataas na, then that's the time that they would put money on you, right? It's not because they don't want to. It's just because they have guidelines as a company, same as with any other corporate. They have guidelines to follow to lessen their risks, right?
Yep.
So this is something na it's quite nice because naiintindihan ko siya. Kakakausap sa inyo, kakakausap kay Kubo, kakakausap kay Foxmont, kakakausap kay Kaya. Tapos, pala the ratio for every 200 investors, angels, VCs you talk to, one would invest.
Yep.
And on my 200, I was pitching, for example, sa event na Kickstart. Open mic, bro. Open mic. So after ko mag-open mic, nandun ako sa isang corner, dahil sa mga tao, sa pusa. May lumapit lang sa akin. Hey Vince, I like what you're doing.
I remember this.
Tapos, I like what you're doing. Here's my business card. I'm gonna invest in you. Then she left. Nagugulat ako sa ano to? Scam ba to? Sabi ko, this is the first time I experienced this. Sabi ko, sige, inom muna ulit ako. Tinagog yung business card.
Easy lang. Don't get too drunk. Okay. Kalma lang. Okay.
Tapos, kalma lang. Hindi na. Pag suot ko to, hindi na. Hanggang 2-3 bottles lang ako.
But when you're off, when you're not wearing a Milo shirt, game. Okay, just kidding.
No. Di ba rin. Kasi naka-PR na eh. Pakikita mo na ako sa dyaryo eh. So, hindi. So, tapos the next day, tinawagan ko. Hi, this is Vince. We talked yesterday. Told me that you're gonna invest. Tapos sabi niya, I'm glad you called. Sabi niya, most of the people that I talk to, they don't follow through. They don't follow up. Tapos sabi niya, let's meet at 3 o'clock. Repeating kami. Tapos alam mo, sabi lang sa akin, I remember my dad nung nagpa-pitch ka. Early on, when he was younger, he invested in this one company. He believed in a 6-table call center. And years after, they have 1,000 plus seats.
Wow.
Tapos yung passion, yung pag-solve sa problems, alam mo yun, yung talagang conviction talagang tataya mo lahat sa ginagawa mo.
Yep.
Alala ko yun. And that's why I like you more than your product, sabi niya. So how much do you need? That's the question. So I answered initially parang, $25,000. Sabi ko, tapos, because I was facing like 300,000. Tapos, sabi ko, sige, okay, I'll write a check. Padala ko yung term sheet. Pagkapadala ko ng term sheet, ayun, okay na. As in,
Nice.
a few weeks after invest siya. Pero before ma-close yung $25,000, sabi sa akin ng mga friends and investors and the other lawyer, sabi niya, Vince, sobrang dami ng kakausapin mo ng mga angels. You raise your check size to 50,000.
Yeah. Correct.
So what happened during that time was, I did. So I raised the check size to $50,000. I told her, hey, I don't want to talk to a lot of people. I only want to talk to like less than 10. I want to focus my time on you when I represent. I want to call you once or twice every week or something, just to let you know what we're doing. Tapos sabi niya, okay, $50,000. So again, once we received the funding from angel investors, initially gastos, di ba? Initially sweldo mo unahin. Hindi, bro. Tinaya ko lahat sa marketing nung March. I got it Feb. Marketing, inubos ko na sa marketing ng March, like yung a little more than half of it. April, poof, taas yung users namin. Tapos, umabot na kami ng 40,000 users agad. May, nag-convert yung users. Alam mo, may profitable si Milo.
Nice.
So, it's, after that, that's the time that, okay na yun. I think sabi ko, maybe it's now is the time to get paid as a CEO also, magkaroon ng konting salary. Kasi ayun kumikita na eh. So sabi ko, that was the time na parang, sabi ko, maybe now is the time to get salary na. Na medyo pamabuhay na, because before parang pang gas, pang parking lang muna ganun, so pagkain, so pang expenses lang eh, hindi pambuhay eh. So ngayon, true enough, when I tell this, because this is an achievement, this is a milestone for Milo. So when I talk to the past investors na nakausap ko, sabi mo dati pag mga $10,000 ako kakausapin mo na ako So we'll start talking na. So we're on that stage right now. But currently, we established a strategy wherein we're just gonna be entrepreneurs first, then startup second.
Yep.
Diba? I've had businesses before. Dapat profit muna bago. So, correct. But and when it's already, for me, for example, a feasible business that can support myself and even expand, for example, other apps. And I think that's also high time that would be attractive for VCs as well.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi na parang negosyo ka na eh. Kumikita ka na eh. Diba? So, it's very, I don't know if I would be flattered as well. One of our top competitors in the US, I'm seeing right now that they're spending heavily on advertisement in the Philippines. Ang sponsored ads, maya't maya nakita ko sa cellphone ko. Lahat ng classmate ko sa Masters, Vince, nakikita na namin yung competition mo. In a way, kinakabahan ako. But I'm also flattered. Because they're a big company, man. They're $60 million per annum.
Holy shit.
Diba? So sabi ko, okay, ito na siya. Iniiwasan ko dapat mag-market sa US eh. I didn't want it to market there because I just wanted to help out kids na underserved. So what we're trying to serve right now, Philippines, Taiwan, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, yun lang muna focus namin eh. Downloadable kami sa US. It's something na it's not our target. Pero ngayon, parang, hey, I even wanna call them up. Hey, I don't have any plans on going there in the next few years. Just go focus there, and we're just gonna go focus on the underserved.
I think it's validation that again, you're on the map. People know you, and don't worry about it. Honestly, it's not zero sum. if you serve your customers well, you're really gonna be able to capitalize. Now, all right, let's take our first break. And when we come, we went on a mighty tangent there. We didn't talk about the time machine. Now we'll go back to the time machine and talk about your journey. Okay, we'll talk about that more after the break. Hey hustlers, how are companies like Pizza Hut, Tech in Asia, and Love Bonito saving $28,000 a year? Well, Aspire is an all-in-one finance solution designed for modern businesses. Over 15,000 companies across Asia are using Aspire to streamline business financial processes, saving both time and money. Now, Aspire understands the demand of your business, and these are their offers. Lightning fast international transfers enabling money movement across 130 plus countries, the best FX rates with no hidden fees ensuring transparency, and multi-currency accounts in US dollars, euros, Great British Pounds, Singaporean Dollar, Indonesian Rupiah, and more, facilitating transactions in multiple currencies. And guess what? Opening an account can be done 100% online, making access to a global business account effortless. Aspire works with thousands of startups across Asia, offering an easy way to open a business account to receive investments from VCs. Aspire is backed by global top-tier VCs including Sequoia and Y Combinator and has been recognized by CB Insights as one of the top 100 most promising fintechs globally. Join over 15,000 businesses across Asia that have already made the switch to Aspire and experience the future of business finance. For more details, visit aspireapp.com. That's ASPIREAPP.com. Again, that's aspireapp.com. And let's make business finance simple, integrated, and borderless together. Hey hustlers, money issues and financial stress are a reality we all face, and ignoring them won't make them disappear. That's why our sponsor, Salmon, is committed to making managing your finances easy and more accessible. With Salmon Financing, you can shop to over 2,000 Salmon partner stores nationwide and bring home your dream purchases today with a low down payment starting at just 10%. Plus, it's super easy to apply. Just one valid ID is needed and you can get approved right then and there. No need to wait for payday. Just take what you need now and pay for it over time. And if you're someone that's looking for ways to grow your money, Salmon's time deposit accounts at the Rural Bank of Santa Rosa, Laguna, which is regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, offers a fantastic 8.88% interest rate for a 12-month term for deposits of more than 500,000 pesos. That's currently the highest rate in the Philippines. Deposits are also insured by the PDIC with up to 500,000 pesos per depositor, so you know your money is safe and secure. It's definitely a great way to make your money work harder for you effortlessly. Since launching in 2022, Salmon has raised over $60 million and is backed by industry giants like the IFC, ADQ, and Northstar Group, ensuring they're a reliable partner in your financial journey. So whether you need financing, credit, or high-return savings option, Salmon has you covered. So visit salmon.ph today to see how they can help you achieve your financial goals with ease. Again, that's salmon.ph. Finance made easy with Salmon. And we're back in the break. We're still with Vince Rocha, who took us all the way in Pasay, Baclaran, Liberisa, and everything else, and even in the inner streets of Malibay. We are lost now in Pasay because you told us the amazing journey that he's had so far with Milo. But I love that you got people invested na in Milo and what you've done. Because again, I love what you're doing. But we talk about that. We were in the time machine. Let's go back. Let's hop on. Okay? Because before we even talked about, the last time I remember we were talking about you and your maturity. But after school, you went to, obviously, hospitality. You worked as a sales manager in the Ascot, and you did Shangri-La, and also went back to Ascot again. So, two things. You told me that you had hiya problems, right? You went to a pageant to combat your hiya, the fuck it moment, whatever. And now out after school, you do sales. That's the extreme manifestation that you really wanted to conquer your fear of people, I guess, or your hiya. What was that like working in sales in the hospitality industry?
So this is what happened. I wanted to become a chef.
Okay.
I wanted to become a chef. I tried working sa kitchen ng hotel.
Okay.
Tapos parang nagluluto ako and all, et cetera, et cetera. I was having fun. Pero pag uwi ko ng bahay, dami kong paso, tapos parang mukhang pagod na lang ang lutuan ko. That's when I talked to my dad para sabi ng dad ko, parang, you should just try hotel sales. He would build your personality there. So, which I did. First ever job ko was in Sports World, and then my task was to invite people to go to the casino and play. That was my first ever job, and that was something that I'm not proud of. There were times that I was awarded like top two in terms of kasi may mga package siya na ng mga binebenta dati. So ang dami
the free parking. The free tubig, the
free
thing.
parking, the dine and play, etc. Ang dami kong beta before. To a point in time wherein parang may friend ako na na-invite na medyo napadalas.
Oh.
Tapos ang sabi niya sa Vince, bakit mo ko in-invite? Nakupos pera ko.
Lako.
Tapos yun, I resigned. I transferred. Para sabi ko parang ayoko itong gawin na ano. So it's not the point of the company per se. It's for fun technically, but those because of some things that they cannot control, napapadalas yung laro. Anyway, because of that, I left and I transferred to the hotel industry. That's where I got my first.
Don't worry about it. Just like here's the thing. My first startup was Party File, guestlist.ph. I got people into the clubs. So upstairs, second floor in Resorts World, was Republic and Opus. So for me, here's the thing. All right, a lot of the people everyone that I get in the club are 18 and above. You guys are adults. Whatever you do inside is on you. It's not on me. Right? So yes, there's a moral compass because he talked to you made me budo or you made me join. But whatever he did there or he or she did there was completely on him. Right? Now it's totally different in a casino. But you were just the access. Because at the end of the day, they wanted it too as well. So okay, don't feel bad. You're Jesus loves you. Saint Thomas loves you, and Saint Dominic loves you. There you go. Okay, so now you go to a more less
legit
guilt or less guilt budol in the Ascot and Shangri-La. What was that like in being a sales manager?
This is the first time that I met one of the bosses ko na talaga nagturo sa akin ng maraming bagay in terms of sales. Her name is Joanne. Papakita ko sa kanya to. And when she interviewed me, parang sabi niya, she was interviewing me, parang sabi niya, why should I get you? Tapos nakita niyo yung age ko, parang, you're very young. You're just 20-something, 21 years old. But you look like you're 30. Sabi ko,
malbas lang.
Yeah, but I want to... parang wala bang malbas parang mukha ng 30. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya during that time was, yeah, but I take it as an advantage. Because who would you believe? A 21-year-old who look like a kid or a 21-year-old who looks like me? Yeah. Tapos the whole interview, man, tawa siya ng tawa lang. Kasi parang hindi na na-discuss masyado yung credentials and all. Tapos parang, sige, kunin kita. No, medyo marami naman ang achievements before. So, then from there, she was tough in a way, but I learned a lot from her. Kaya ako napabalik Doon sa sinabi mo kanina. And up until na, message ko pa rin yun. Tapos, text ko pa rin, happy birthday, best boss ever, something like that. Learn a lot from her. But then again, I think that's the sales gig that I had before is what really, 200 pitches.
Yeah.
At first, you feel bad. After a couple of, parang okay, rejection is fine.
Yeah.
Rejection.
Alam mo,
tayo pa ako na-reject dati. Di ba? So, uh, I think that's one of the reasons why. And everybody was surprised. Miss, paano mo nagawa 200? No, just do it. Repeat the same thing. Ngayon, and it is a training process as well. Now, when people ask you about your company, you already know. Like, you did this 200 times with other people.
Yeah.
With high caliber questions. And it's very important pala to take note ng questions, di ba?
Mm.
Tapos may sagot ka next time, di ba? Anyway, so that was my sales gig. Tapos I also had a company I worked in a company in Boracay, China before as a director level as well.
Mm.
But early on in my sales career, napabili ako ng kotse.
Okay.
Brand
What type?
new. So may amortization. Bios lang naman.
Okay.
Pero that was my first brand new car.
Okay.
After a year, ayoko na magbayad ng amortization.
Oh.
Kasi mahal 15,000 amortization, wala ko pang inom eh. Di ba?
Here we go again. Okay.
So sabi ko, tinawagan ko isang friend ko, bro. Gusto mo negosyo? Ano negosyo yan? Sales car rental. Sabi niya, sales car rental. Tatawagan ko lahat ng hotel, gagawa ko ng kontrata, ikaw magpamanage. Off siya. Ako, sales ako, di ba? Sabi niya, magkano benta? Sabi ko, sweldo ng driver, 15, kotse ko, 15. Benta natin ng 40-45. Tapos yung kotse mo, ganun. So, anyway, to make the long story short, it grew to, I think, from 2 to around close to 10.
Yeah,
Tapos, anong nangyayari? Yeah, more or less. Tapos, after a few years, dude, tawagan ko yung partner ko, kunwari, yung kailangan namin ng, para hindi na maglabas masyado for the birth of my son.
Yeah.
Diba? Tawag, oy, kailangan ko ng kita ko for this year, around 250 kasi CS. Tapos okay, sige, deposit. Sabi ko, pwede pala yun. Pwede ko pala gawin na kunin ko yung strength ko at kumuha ko ng weakness ko na strength niya. Tapos we build something.
Correct.
To a point na dumami nga yung ventures na minanage ko to around 7. So after during working, I already had businesses. And my boss in the hotel, si Joanne, sabi niya, nalaman niya yung transpo. Okay lang, basta yung yung sales mo, huwag mong kakalimutan. Pag yan, bumaba, patay ka sa akin. So, I still perform really well as a sales guy. And at the same time, during that time, meron akong businesses. Entrep na ako.
No, so you have multiple streams of income. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. So now, if you ask me as a startup guy, Vince, paano mo nagagawa yun? Paano ka nakaka-focus sa Milo? Kasi meron ako ibang streams of income before. I just closed everything this January kasi focus na ako sa Milo Pati yung restaurant ko sa Tagaytay, sinarado na namin ng January kasi focus na ako sa Milo. So, but yeah, to a certain extent, you look for something like extra work that could also grow your skills.
Correct.
Diba? So, it's very important for us founders Kasi we can do we multitask. It's our strength. Right. Diba? So let's make money out of it, maybe outside. Diba? Anyway, release na naman tayo. So that's work.
Wait, I have a question. I have a question before we go tangent na naman and this becomes something different. I wanna dwindle down on your strength because you said you double down in your strength and despite you having multiple streams of income, you're still able to do well. I'm pretty sure you found the formula on sales. Describe this to us. Couple things. First off, what's your sales MO, your modus operandi? And number 2, what were the metrics you were trying to hit? For those people who don't understand how hospitality works per se, what was the metrics or what's the quota like per se? But let's do the first question first. What was your MO? Because for me, I'll just think, and this is my MO everywhere. My MO typically, the way I do it, and in every pitch, I don't pitch, I don't sell. What I do is I always try to make you laugh. The first 5 minutes, whatever I'm doing, and I come in really hot, like flamboyant personality, loudest motherfucker in the room. I try to see if my humor will work with you. Because if I'm able to break that barrier, that means I can build rapport with you. Because if I cannot make you laugh, then I'm going to have to do my second counter move, which is now similarly hustle share, ask you questions a lot. It's not even about work, right? After that, I'm going to ask my objective now there is to look for what your weakness is. What's your pain point? After I find your pain point, subliminally, I'll start talking about whatever I'm trying to do. And then that's the only time I finish it off with a proper presentation. Majority of the time, I don't even want to present something. Because people buy from people, but people buy from people they like and trust. I'm trying to establish those two at the start, right? So that they don't even have to look elsewhere. That's what I'm trying to do. And then if I can, I would do them a favor first. I'm not even going to ask for anything.
Standard sales process.
Right?
Yeah. So that's the standard sales process. To be what you told me earlier. So initially, you profiled your user, you profiled your customer.
Mhm.
Tinignan mo kung mag-affect ba sa kanila kung yung comedy or yung serious or kahagat ba sila sa hard selling o medyo value selling ka or soft sell ka. So that's one of the most important things eh. Hindi ka salesperson na nag-hard sell ka lagi na ito produkto ko lalalala. You also have to profile like, di ba, pitch yun din. Well, you do that. If you're a founder, if you're listening right now, pitch, you do that, gawin mo. But don't forget to reevaluate yourself after.
Yeah.
Diba? So my MO right now is if I can be funny, I will. But if there's a funnier guy with me who's also doing his stuff na mas funny kaysa sa akin, ay hindi, ilipat ako. Diba? Lipat ako sa mas seryoso. Ngayon, for Milo per se, if I'm pitching Milo, I'm also talking about emotions.
Yeah.
Because Milo is really heavy in emotions. It's really personal. And you can easily identify a person that's really interested and talagang maapektuhan. Kasi one point in time, biglang gagano na lang yan at magluluha. It's not unusual for me to talk to somebody. Tapos pagkatapos ng pitch ko, even in front of a stage, may lalapit sa akin, Daddy V, I like what you're talking about. Can I hug you? Tapos parang, so okay, so that's one of the emos that I have right now. But one of the most efficient thing na natutunan ko is be real.
Yes.
Be helpful, be nice.
Yes.
Diba? Help them out if they need help.
Yeah.
Diba? So ngayon, pare, kunwari, ganito lang, Vince, paano mo ginagawa to? I would spend time like 30 minutes, 1 hour, explain to them ito ginagawa ko, lalala. And you know, you won't know eh. One point in time, maisip niya, ito yung sinabi sa akin ni Vince eh. Mangyayari pala at magagamit ko pala.
Yep.
Then that person would more or less remember you for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Na parang, tapos pag meron siyang pagkakitaan, uy, si Ron, uy, si Vince. So, ikaw, ganyan, di ba? So, that's what, but in sales, it's not a one-time thing.
No.
To each and every, it has to be, you have to like develop a real relationship eh. Hindi siya transactional.
Correct.
Na pagkatapos ito out na, wala na, di ba? Hindi, you have to make real friends with real people. Even like, for example, just text them out of the blue kahit wala kang kailangan. Diba? Invite them when you're going out. For example, gusto ko lang lumabas, naalala mo lang siya. It counts a lot kasi you're being a real person.
Yep.
Diba? And we would recognize kung sino yung transactional. Lumapit lang yan kasi may kailangan. Diba? So that's I mean, I think in a way we're quite similar. But for me, it's not funny. I also have like a couple of techniques that I could use. But for startups listening right now who would want to grow their sales skills, start reading books. Og Mandino, Greatest Salesperson. Tapos, you look at neuro-linguistic programming as well. Yung sinasabi mo kanina na parang nagtatanim ka ng nagsasabi ka ng mga information. So, na hindi naman hard selling, but hustle siya. Then after a couple of minutes, oo nga, yung isang podcast na meron diniscuss. So, ini-inception mo sa utak nila, di ba?
Yep.
So this is one thing na they would remember you some point in time. Na pag there's something about podcast, there's hustle share, there's Ron. So those are very important things. The sales process you also have to understand. In sales, there's also law of averages. Law of
Yes.
averages is kapag, di ba, kausap ka ng 100, kung na-close mo ng 1, maganda. Eh kung ang target mo is 10, di ko kumusap ka ng 1,000, meron kang 10. Kung kailangan mo ng 100, kumusap ka ng 10,000.
Yep.
That's how
Numbers
you,
game,
di ba?
baby.
And it's a numbers game. So, if you want to improve it as well, for example, you also define kung bakit 1 lang ang mo convert mo. It also shows a lot with Milo, yung sales process. Right? So, initially, we had the community of like 15,000. From that 15,000, we convert X amount. So, in my mind, what if I'm able to tap like 1 million people? I would get, for example, 500 paying users. So, yun siya. That's the reason why, if you would notice, Milo is quite strong, for example, in storytelling, in marketing, in targeting the communities, and telling them what we want, what we want to happen, PR. So, it's not because Milo is the best product there. We're not. Our competition is right now is better, and we know it. But on the other hand, we tell the stories on how people can relate, on how the parents can relate, diba? And hindi lang siya social media. It's a full strategy that you should do. PR marketing, user-generated contents, a very nice marketing campaign message, a storytelling part.
Yep.
So hindi siya when you you know where I got all of this. I started studying in AIM marketing class. April. So ngayon, upon the execution of the strategy, in-incorporate ko yung napag-aralan ko sa AIM. True enough, May, June, profitable. Nice. So, I mean, parang sumakto, tumiming din. Swerte din in a way. But of course, you get swerte if you do it like, you do it paulit-ulit until tamaan mo yung swerte, di ba?
Correct. No, and it's preparation meets opportunity. That's when luck strikes in.
Yeah. And the marketing side, bro, I mean, you're great in marketing also. And at the same time, it has to be hand in hand. Kaya nga sa every big corporation, it's not sales. It's not marketing. It's sales and marketing.
Yep.
Diba? Tapos, diba? So hindi pa yan sales and marketing, PR and advertising.
Yep.
Diba? That's why, ipa-funnel nila yung mga users mo sa'yo eh. And that's something that, sad to say, that's something that the startup industry in the Philippines lacks. Parang hindi pa ganun kabuo yung expertise. But we do have a lot of great founders, no?
No, it depends. And I 1,000% agree. I think what people just really great founders, but there's a lot of good founders, but there's not enough. Also, some founding teams, not founders, founding teams are imbalanced with how they build their teams. Okay, so and they're founders, like, all right, so for example, you surround yourself with a good sales and marketing guy or a sales guy. Like, wow, you can just literally light up a room, just give him a damn mic, give him an opportunity to do that. But you don't surround him with someone. It's not always right all the time that just because he's a great salesperson that he can market. It's not those are two different skill sets, because sales is 1:1 or 1:12. Marketing is 1:every. That's a totally different strategy. And obviously the game is lead gen. But what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of startups, especially for homegrown, I'm gonna zero in on homegrown, like local founders. It's bungi. What I say bungi. You're lucky if you have one super founder in there. Like, holy shit, this guy is amazing. And how do you know if it's amazing? Because the other founders will tell you. That's how you know. Because founders will generate respect right away if they know you're good. That's the best validation you can get. Not the likes, not the PR. Fuck that. We all know that's just a ploy. We're all founders here. But when somebody says, you know what, that guy is the best at this, you should learn from him. And that's good. But that's not enough. Again, this is a team sport. Startups are a team sport. Even if you have a superstar of a Kobe, but if that's a Kobe Bryant that the tail end of his career where he's the only guy and he's surrounded with a lot of weirdos, then your chances of winning, when VCs look at the paper,
It's lower.
it's hard to bet on one person only.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the very first pitch that you can give to any type of startup or any type of whatever is the pitch that you do about yourself. Believe me, join me in this mission. The persuasion that you get, join me in this crazy idea or vision that I have, and do that. If you're able to surround yourself with great people, that's the best pitch ever. Because now you just filled in the holes that you have. Similar to what you said earlier. You cover your ass with people that compensate for your weaknesses, technically. Last question. So
Wait, bro, let me add to that.
Okay, go.
I wanted to add, so I agree with you 100% on that. May mga founder na bungiti, may mga MVP player na bakaw na hindi nakikinig sa team nila. But you know what I realized here when I'm studying, I am aware of dude, would you believe that there's a entrepreneur running 27 successful businesses at the same time?
But that person needs a lot of people.
Yes. Tapos sabi niya, Vince, you know how I do that? Kasi in Masters, maraming frameworks. Ito yung technically, the frameworks, parang lessons yung doubts mo eh. Kasi parang, di ba, when you think of something with strategies, parang, ano pa kaya kulang ko? Parang, di ba, ano pa kaya pwede kong gawin pero ba akong na-miss? Here, what's important sa Masters na nakita ko yung frameworks.
Yeah.
So ngayon, di ba, tinatanong tayo, for example, what's your GTM? What's your GTM strategy? How do you go to 0 to 100 million? So there's apparently, for example, a framework called Vegas, which is alam natin pareho. It's validation, entry, growth, and scale. In-step by step niya lang kung paano. Tapos kung lalagay mo sa isang presentation, it's really valid. Tapos sabi nung another entrepreneur guy told me, Vince, for you to be successful in any business, if you define yourself as the originator of the idea, kung sa'yo nanggaling yan, you have to have two other people. You have one originator, you have one organizer, and you want one operator.
Yes.
If the three of you are good, kaya mo yan. Kasi parang, ikaw, malikot ang utak mo eh. Creative ka, you solve problems.
Yep.
But I'm sure, bibihira ka makakita, sabi niya, organize ka ba?
Nope.
Kailangan mo i-organize yung admin mo, yung finance mo, yung HR mo eh.
Yep.
Tapos pag na-organize mo na yan, kailangan mo na someone who would operate.
Yep.
So those three factors, those three things, it's very important when you're starting up. So you have to, hindi lang yan dapat pare-pareho kayo magaling maglaro.
Nope.
Pare-pareho kayo MVP. Gugulo kayo, sabi niya. Parang, it has to be like, that's his expertise, this is your expertise, that's his expertise. If you work together, tatakbo yung company niya. Alam nyo. So sabi ko, oo nga, no? Maybe that's one of the reasons startups are having a hard time.
Yeah.
Kasi gusto nila sila lahat gagawa.
Yes. And here's the
Kaya
other
nga may
nuance.
co-founders eh.
Yeah, and here's the other nuance, Vince. I feel a lot of startup founders, when they're starting in, and this is the harsh truth because I've mentored so many. They come out, when they decide, they're still hilaw. They're hilaw. So when they come in, the path to success is harder because they haven't mastered their go-to move yet. They're hilaw. So when they'll get through that eventually, but you'll have to go through the hoops all of a sudden. Now you should have gotten if you had prior experience. And that's why the guys sometimes from, again, the sea turtles, the ones that Kaya describes, they're easily investable because they're already paid those stripes somewhere. Imagine if you're a former exec, you're a former startup employee. You get it. You've lived that life. The only difference is now you're the founder. You don't have to the resume speaks for itself per se. Diba? And when you're hilaw and then you double whammy that pa with co-founders that are part-time. That's there's I've seen teams na, hey, this guy's your co-founder? Isn't he co-founder with 3 other startups? The fuck is he doing? Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, right? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, those are the first 3 things you look at. Eh. Team, TAM, traction. If team pa lang, it's already weird. How? TAM. Most people
Diba?
don't even know how to quantify their TAM properly. And then obviously,
Yeah.
the last one is traction. Show me the real one, not your likes, not your TikTok followers. I don't give a fuck about that, right? It's revenue. That's traction, right? That's the real scorecard. It's revenue. So
Yep.
that's
Last
my 2
question.
cents. Next question. Okay.
Great. Great discussion, bro. Parang kulang isa't kalahating oras.
Yeah, oo nga. Milo to, Milo. It's Milo.
Milo
That's
to. Hindi to, startup.
Okay. Actually, let's take our last break, and when we come back, we'll not talk about Milo, how you were able to do that. What a 10. This is like a founders only discussion, but on startup
Yeah.
in Hustle Share. We'll talk about that more after
Yeah.
the break.
Hey hustlers, wish there was an easy way to open a bank account and grow your money without the hassle of lengthy application process and income documents? Well, I got good news because today's sponsor, Uno Digital Bank, is here to help you achieve your financial goals. You can easily open an account with the Uno app in just 5 minutes and 1 valid ID. And as one of the 6 digital banks licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, the company is committed to providing customers with simpler, better, and more accessible banking. Last year, Uno Bank was recognized by the Asia Banking and Finance Awards and bagged the title Open Banking Initiative of the Year due to the success of its partnership with GCash, one of the Philippines' leading mobile wallet platforms. And with the Uno mobile app, you can access an hashtag Uno Ready savings account and enjoy daily interest crediting. With their hashtag Uno Earn or hashtag Uno Boost time deposit accounts, you can enjoy a high interest rate of up to 6.5% per annum. Enjoy monthly payouts with hashtag Uno Earn and flexible tenors with hashtag Uno Boost. Other app features include pay bills, the Uno Virtual Debit MasterCard, life insurance, scan and pay with QRPH, and phones. And the one thing that I really love about Uno Digital Bank is they're open to collaborate with a lot of Filipino startups. I've had a chance to see the partnerships that they've had lined up with the startups that they have, and it's truly exciting to see how a digital bank like Uno can enable startups to unlock the power of fintech through digital banking. So if you're ready to elevate your banking experience, download the Uno mobile app today from the Google Play Store or App Store. Or if you want to collaborate with them, I'll be happy to give you an intro. Just shoot us an email at hello@hustleshare.com. Hey hustlers, how many apps are you using at work these days? 5, 10, 20? Let's face it, there are chat apps for internal communication and emails for external, Cloud Drive for docs and wikis, calendars and video conferencing, spreadsheets and project management software, and probably yet another tool to connect them all. It is a mess. And if you're collaborating with cross-border colleagues, partners, or suppliers, it gets even more complicated. And don't you find it disruptive when your personal and business messages get mixed up? And if this sounds painfully familiar, switch to Lark, the leading super app for work designed to increase your team's productivity by 10x at an unbelievable fraction of the cost. With Lark, manage projects, chat with your team, build a knowledge base with wikis, and automate workflows such as approvals without code effortlessly from one app. No switching or integration needed. Join fast-growing companies in over 125 countries, including Xiaomi, Glint, and the Philippines' very own Kumu and Mama Luz, who trust Lark as their workplace super app. I've started using Lark myself for our pressure washing business service, Papa Pressure, and I'm totally loving it. Want to see how Lark can revolutionize your business? Click the link in the description or download Lark for free at larksuite.com. That's larksuite.com, the productivity super app every business needs.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Vince Rocha, who then told us the amazing tangent. Si I'll call you now Boy Tangent when I see you. Because we kept going. We went multiversal, bro. Okay, the sacred timeline was your story, but we went multiverse. And I love it because these are all valid conversations we had. But I want to now understand. So Milo, I just want to see the origin story of how Milo came to be. because we all know you have a child that is going through this. But after going through the grind of doing sales in hospitality, right?
Hotels.
You also have
Yeah.
Sprout Rooms. That's what I want to know, because you did Sprout Rooms, and this is, I think, the precursor to how this became how Milo also sprouted off, pun intended, and in 2023. So what was Sprout Rooms? Because you did this for 4 years, 7 months.
So Sprout Rooms, it happened actually during I was working with Booking.com before, and I saw when I was working there that there are a lot of hotels, 3 stars or lower. There are a lot of Airbnbs who didn't know what they were doing.
Of course.
So anyway, if during the pandemic, so I got a contract from a hotel in Tagaytay.
Okay.
They're 92 room hotel,
Wow.
and their monthly let's just say, for example, that their highest revenue before was 800,000. That's pre-pandemic, 800,000 a month.
La-
So 92 that's low. That's low. So during the pandemic, parang the owner called me and said, Vince, I need help. Sabi niya, parang the hotel needs to survive. The challenge with Tagaytay is before mag-pandemic, putok ang bulkan.
Yes, I remember.
So mas matagal silang lugi. Mas matagal silang walang negosyo kasi putok bulkan eh.
Mm.
I remember that was September. Tapos sabi niya, Vince, I need your help. Tapos sabi ko, you know what? Ganito na lang. I'll help you out. If I don't give you $1 million, this is just an X number.
Okay.
If I don't give you $1 million this September, once the government opens up the Tagaytay for business, don't pay me.
Mm. Wow. You bet on
Sabi niya sa
yourself.
akin, lakas naman loob mo. Sabi ko, I have nothing to lose. Sabi ko sa kanya, nasa bahay lang ako, yung transpo company ko, tumatakbo naman. I'm just gonna fix everything sa hotel mo. And after 1 month, bro, sabi ko, na-hit yung numbers.
Nice.
And I was
Hustler.
getting X%. So ngayon, after a few years, nagbukas na yung kasi COVID, diba, gitna. Nagbukas na yung 50%, nag-70% na yung occupancy ng na pinapayagan ng government to as much as 100% na pwede mag-function yung hotel.
Yeah.
So okay na. Alam mo ginawa ng owner ng hotel? Sabi niya, Vince, I have a restaurant in front of my hotel. That's
Okay.
mine. Get it? Name your price kung kano renta mo.
Wow.
So sabi ko sa kanya, ganito na lang, ma'am. Kasi nalugi na ako sa restaurant dati.
Yeah.
Can you give it to me for 50,000 or 10%, whichever is lower? Sabi niya, Vince, grabe naman. Bakit whichever is lower? Kasi pag magsarado yung vulkan, at least wala akong renta. Pag sumabog yung vulkan, wala akong renta. Pag sinabi ng government na lockdown ulit tayo, wala akong renta. Pero kapag okay na, bayad ako ng mataas, di ba? Oo. Pumayag, bro. So nagkaroon ako ng restaurant.
Nice.
Tapos tumulong ako sa isang friend ko na walang trabaho. Sabi ko, Chef, ikaw muna tumao dito. Pag ikaw na, sabi niya, ikaw magpatakbo ng restaurant. Sabi sa akin ni Chef, Vince, bata pa lang ako. Gusto ko na magka-restaurant. Salamat.
Nice.
So that's one of the business that I had because of Sprout Rooms. Now with Sprout Rooms, I felt like I was an expert on it because I was a hotel sales guy.
Yeah.
I also work in e-commerce for Booking.com.
Mm.
So front end, back end, alam ko nangyayari.
Yeah.
Alam ko kung paano pataasin yung listing ng hotel mo or something. That's what I know that. So now, the next question to that is, I've talked to a lot of hotels and everyone was subjective. Feelings ang involved sa pagpapatakbo nila sa hotel. Kasi nga, pera nila yun eh. Pinag-invest na nila, family na yun. Madalas ang away-away.
Yeah.
I also saw that Oyo and Red Doors were losing a lot of contracts with hotels. It was profitable, but the next question was, is it scalable? And once it's scalable, the next question is, can I retain it? Kasi nalaglag na nga yung mga contracts, di ba? Sabi ko, should I double down? I not. Kasi parang, okay, I can get like 100 contracts. And by next year, ano mangyayari? i-drop ako nito mga taxi, pamikita sila lahat.
Right.
So it's not something that was scalable, but it functioned for quite some time, but it's not for scale. It's just for extra income.
Got it.
So it's a startup. It's parang papasok ko sa hotel, tingnan ko kung ano yung ma-improve ko. Once ma-improve, you pay me. That's plain and simple. So that's Sprout Rooms. The reason why it's Sprout Rooms is because the pandemic is just like a big fire. It destroyed the whole industry. And sometimes something needs to sprout and grow.
Okay. I thought you
Kaya siya
were
Sprout
partnered
Rooms.
with Patrick Gentry. So Sprout Solutions.
Yan lang din nila yan. Pero kung gusto nilang i-grow yung kanilang as HR nila sila sa accounting, di ba?
Yeah.
Each and every corporate has hotel travel and air travel. Maybe it's something that they could invest on.
Oh, I'll do the intro to you. Okay.
No.
NLP.
No.
Milo lang.
Focus, Milo.
Milo lang. There you go.
Just kidding, man. Just kidding.
Oh, man. Again.
So anyway, so that's Sprout Rooms.
Okay, sounds good. Now, again, for those people who don't know, because I love how you tell stories. Again, there's salesman guy, sales guy. So you're a storyteller by default. You can go on tangent, but we'll still end up in the same ending. Okay, how did the Milo? Because I remember where I first saw you, the final pitch. Right, because I'm an alum. What year was it? 2019. Yeah, this is when we got our first funding in PNE. August. Yeah, see man, we're doing this. We're turning 5 years this year. My co-founders there with me pa. That's when I first saw you guys. Like, wow, okay, this is an amazing story. How did this come along, and why did you decide? Because now that you're all in, which is very unlike you, because you're always been a multiple stream of income type of guy. You went all in this. Tell us the story of how this originated.
It's actually a great story because after ang dami kong business na pandemic, di ba?
Yeah.
Would you believe that I also have a metaverse?
A metaverse, okay.
Yeah, we created a Japanese anime metaverse.
Okay.
That was self-funded. Self-funded meaning ako tsaka yung co-founder ko. We paid like 1.4 million to it.
Wow.
And at the same time, we minted like ROI naman, 1.4 million NFTs to build. Yun nga lang, we reinvested it to the metaverse, but everything went down. Yeah, so down south.
Offset lang.
So offset, yes. Pero andun yung pay na parang
sayang.
hindi mo nagawa.
Yeah, of course.
Sayang. Pero andyan pa siya eh. Anyway, that's when I had a background in tech. Because I help out my tech guy. Sabi niya ng pandemic, parang gusto kong gumawa ng NFT, metaverse, I need somebody to do the sales and marketing to build the community, etc. Ayoko, yung NFT. Parang hindi ko gusto yan eh. Actually, ayoko. Tapos sabi sa akin, pero ito plano ko. A metaverse wherein you can walk around, buy stuff, etc. Build a school.
Okay.
Build a school. I want to build a school for my son, just in case he cannot go to school. So he go to his laptop, go to the school, and study biology, for example, or astronomy for the study of solar system.
Wait lang. Hey, you don't want him to become Madam Auring.
No. Astronomy. Nadulas ako doon. So yun, doon ako na-interest. Like, I wanted to create a metaverse for my son so he can study there inside the metaverse. Tapos nung kumuha kami ng mga artist, naghahanap kami ng mga anime artist. Surprisingly, ang magagaling na artist, hindi nag-drawing ng lalaking anime.
Oh,
puro waifu.
Yeah. Waifu.
So, ngayon, puro mga babaeng anime yung laman ng metaverse namin. Anyway, after that, so NFT went down, we stopped. I was invited to help out in this company. EdTech siya, tutoring. That was when I met yung aking efficient na is a multi-awarded director, co-founder, Direct Martinelli, to help out on that. But he left na because he's focusing on some other directing gigs, which is great. Anyway, so I joined that with very minority shares. Tapos kasi ang gusto ko rin was is tutoring. Maybe someone can do tutoring para sa mga batang may autism or ganong klase.
Yeah.
I wanted to help out. Action man ako, bro. Like for example, I do a strategy, I reflect, I do the next steps. And from the next steps, what are the next actions? Right? So we tried to do that. Dude, parang in 2 months time, we got around, like for example, 1,500 tutors that has signed up to that tech.
Wow.
Now the only challenge was hindi nagko-convert yung buyers.
Oh, why?
We found out na nagpapa-tutor lang ang Pilipino pag anak nila ang grade
Bagsak.
60, 65.
Bagsak.
Hindi sila nagpapa-tutor para tumalino.
Yeah.
Nagpapa-tutor para magpasang awa.
Yes.
So it's a market validation. Oh, you only have like in a class of 50 at 2-3 bagsak. Ilan lang dyan ang papa-tutor.
Correct.
So the tutoring for the Philippines won't work. It might work for Korea, where the parents they really want their child to be like really smart and all.
Yeah,
Right?
common style type of
But in the
thing.
Philippines, I don't think so. Yeah. So ngayon, for the past few months, parang I had a challenge because most of the co-founders are just side gig lang eh. Kasi yung mga kasama ko was like high level people eh.
Yeah.
Tapos ngayon, ang kumikilos, yung araw-araw na gumagalaw, ako.
Okay.
So parang sabi ko, parang hirap, ikaw mo lang mag-isa. So I talked to them, parang, sabi ko, I wanted to start this for my son. But then again, parang ako lang ang araw-araw na gumagawa dito. They're still doing their expertise, but not araw-araw. And I felt that it's something that's unfair. But I was paid during that time like a minimal amount. Which is okay naman. Anyway, so going back to that, sabi ko, I can, if I'm doing this, and I got 1,000+ tutors in just a couple of weeks time, months time. I can do this myself. So, kinonceptualize ko yung plano. Plus, there's already an app that's quite similar to us. Spinach ko ngayon kay Direct. Direct, I wanted to do this for my son. Can you film the content for it? Because I have the tech guy already waiting. Yung tech guy ko ng NFT, Metaverse. So 1 week, hindi niya pinapansin yung idea. So one Sunday, tumawag sa akin, Vince, yung sinasabi mo sa akin last week, alam mo ba, yung step apo ko is also has autism.
Ooh.
At yung lahat ng sinasabi mo sa akin na challenges mo, yun din yung challenges. Sabi ko, this is happening. This is common. It's just that hindi lang ito dinidiscuss. It's something that's taboo. Kasi yung mga parents na katulad ko na lalaki, they don't wanna admit.
Of course.
So anyway, ngayon, nabuo yung idea. I would always remember when we met at sabi nila, let's meet April 1. Sabi ko, hindi, ayoko na April 1. Gusto ko March 31. Sabi ko, bakit tayo man April 1? April Fools yun eh. Nag-joke time tayo. March 31 tayo. Ang babaw, no? So anyway, nag-meet kami noon. Tapos, nag-meet kami ng tech guy ko. Tapos yung tech guy, tsaka si Direct. Etong mangyayari, we need a video streaming platform, What happens in April? Holy Week. One week vacation, right?
Okay.
Si tech guy, umupo ng computer niya 1 linggo. Tapos after ng whole week, nagtawag, okay, let's do this. Gawin na natin to. Rick, you start the tech. Direct, let's start filming na, Sabi ni tech. Tapos ko na.
Wow.
Pero ako video streaming platform man. Pero hindi pa maganda. Like, may laman lang na movies na Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And by the way, yung tech guy ko na friend since high school, yung nagbo-burn ng CD. Same guy.
What the hell? That's the same bit. That's why you have access to movies na naman. Okay.
Yeah. So may mga sample movies na yan. Sabi ko, I can watch ayos to lalala. Tapos ganun. Si Direk parang like 2 weeks nagawa na agad yung like first 2 episodes no ano. So ngayon, while doing that, habang ginagawa yun, nag-apply din ako final pitch. And my pitch deck before was not a proper pitch deck. It was a sales deck. Kasi sales ako eh.
Yep.
I was just surprised that one of the people who reviewed it, si Boss Paulo.
Paulo.
TechShake.
Okay.
Na apparently, ang kanyang mom was working for a long time in a sped school. So he grew up meeting a lot of children in the spectrum, Down syndrome. So nung nakita niya, sabi niya, hindi ko na kailangan actually basahin yung Vince lahat. I know that this is a problem, that this is happening. So the journey of Milo, from that time, tuloy.
Mm-hmm.
Alam mo, serendipitous lahat na nangyari. Nagugulat ako na parang, ganito, meron pala siyang anak. Ganito. Right. Tapos lahat ng mga, alam mo yun, it's something na tuloy-tuloy kasi parang swerte nga.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when I ask myself, if I do another startup, can I do it again? Kasi malakas si Milo sa serendipity, sa swerte nga. And the answer was no. I can't do it again.
Why?
Kasi hindi ko mahirap makita yung opportunities. For example, final pitch, yung judge alam ng autism, yung isang yung nag-screen, tapos yung one of the 4 judges, yung daughter niya also has. Tapos for example, one of the judges for each and every competition meron din. Tapos, for example, one of the high-profile guests after a pitching, lumapit sa akin, can I hug you? Tapos VP ng malaking bangko. Sabi ko, this is something that you can get like on a roll, like every week na may happening na nangyayari. It's something that's medyo swerte din. Alamin lahat binigay. And that's why I started Masters. Para ma-flowchart siya lahat. Para maayos lahat and we can repeat it again. So that's the story of Milo, how it started. And right now, I'm very happy with the startup community because everybody's so helpful.
Nice.
To a point that, alam mo yun, everybody wants to grow. And kapag, for example, may mga narinig ka naman ng nako ng idea, ganon, lahat ng mga startup is, sino yun? Stay away.
Yeah. No, but I have a question now, Vince. You mentioned it's all serendipitous, and it looks like, again, a lot of it's just falling into your lap, but I think this is something that you've already kind of engineered to attract anyway, right? Because it's a numbers game, right? Now, there's a difficult part about the investors. But aside from that, where else did you find difficulty in building Milo?
Product. We lack a lot of product here in the Philippines. Product manager, product owners. Kulang tayo nun. There are skilled product guys pero they do their own startups.
Silaw.
So that's one of the challenges that we have right now. For the VCs right now, I'm happy kung sino man ang mga nakausap ko na. But our thrust right now is to slow down on pitching, slow down on talking to VCs, and focus on social impact funds and grants.
Got it.
Why? Because ang gusto namin, ako kasi ang naisip ko is, once VC money comes in, the mission would be more or less, how do I say it? Medyo bababa yung mission eh. The reason why we're growing so fast is because all our access right now is driven by the mission.
Got it.
Secondary ang profit and pera. But when VC money comes in, natatakot ako baka mamaya hindi kami the same in terms of the mission. But of course, I would also like to highlight that even though the mission is the first priority right now, as an early startup, we're also profitable na. Maybe we're doing something right. Di ba? Mission talaga. Tapos, kasi papasok naman, di ba? So, yeah, those are the 2 challenges that we have right now. The rest, I think, are learnable. Yun nga lang, yung the product and yung sa VCs is just a matter of finding.
Of course.
Mahirap lang.
It's really hard to find great people because there's only 2 routes typically. is either you find a ready-made person, majority of the time. If they're ready, they're expensive. Good luck if you can afford them. Or you have to build them from the ground up and go through that learning curve and the growth pains that come with it. I'm not a zero-sum guy, but typically it happens there. I mean, there's people that probably 1 to 2 years ahead of those things, but they're still growing pains. And you got to pay.
Yeah.
Right now, I want to understand now,
Yeah.
Vince, because at the end of the day, we have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, we'll have you on another follow-on interview in a few years. But I want to understand now that because you mentioned you're profitable and you're running it like a normal business. And if I'm correct, you're running this with low costs, and obviously, so that cash flow comes in because you already do that. So, who's in your team and what do they do?
I only have 4 now.
Okay, what do they do?
The tech guy, a motion graphics guy, and another tech guy.
Okay.
And everything is me.
Wow, that's a lot of hustle.
Here's the thing. I don't hire regular people. I do contracts. I do contracts 3 months, 6 months as of now. Kasi wala pa naman kami pambayad na matindi. Diba? We're trying to make it lean. So whenever we film content, I opened up this company called Life. It's a digital content company, storytelling company. I help out this director as well. Is very passionate about content.
Yeah.
So ang nangyari is whenever we need to film something, I just, for example, I got 500,000. Oh, 500,000, we need to do this X amount of content. You hire people, you buy equipment, for as long as it's finished, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that's not exposure eh. Kasi it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
So wala akong SSS, wala akong, para ako nagbayad ng kliyente. Para akong kliyente nagbayad sa supplier.
Yeah, correct.
Now, on the other hand, I also hire like VAs. VAs, you would see the Facebook page and the TikTok page of Milo Speech Buddy. Each and every comments are answered. It started, I was answering everything. Na umahapo yung cellphone ko na nakakasagot. Makikita mo pag ako nag-reply. Kapag may typo, ako yun. So, but now I have mom, she's already with children in the autism spectrum. So the idea was, these parents, yung iba sa kanila, kulang ang pambayad ng therapy. They have jobs, but they can also use cell phone. They can also do studies sa cell phone. So I don't hire them full time. What I want to happen is help them out para may pen therapy yung mga anak nila. And you would not mess with mom, she's on a mission.
Yeah.
Kapag gusto nila tumulong, dude, sabi ko, I want to summarize lang all the list of the speech therapy centers and the list of all the SPED centers in Manila. 24 hours after, I have the list for the whole Philippines.
Wow. Where did you get these guys?
Sa Mom's community namin. Guys, sa Autism PH, saka sa Autism Awareness PH, yung community na binuild ko, they're 40,000 strong already. Kasi kailangan nila ng saka yung puso nila andun. So they're on fire na pag tumatrabaho sila. And when I ask them, do you have any idea or comments or what to prove? Hindi sapat ang 2 oras para sa mga, Daddy Vince, ganito, pwede ba ganito? Pwede ganyan, lala. So that's how I get yung
love it.
Customer feedback.
I love it.
Diba?
Okay.
So
it's amazing.
Community, strong momsies.
Okay. Now, Vince, I'll tie this up. One last question. What's the end goal? Because again, I know that this is something you're going to plow through for the rest. I can see someone, when I see someone like this, like you're one of the rare ones where I know that by hook or by crook, I don't care what you're going to have to go through, you're going to make this work. Right?
Do or die.
No, do or die. I understand. Because it's rare, and those are the types of people that you'd love to bet on. Because in a way, that's me also, right? Like, you know me.
Yeah.
If you know me well, I don't care how difficult it is. I'm gonna fucking go through that time and again. I don't care if I have no limbs anymore, as long as I'm breathing. Game, right? But what's the end goal, and how can we, the Hustle Share listeners, help you out?
I agree with you. Pareho tayo. Hindi tayo MVP. Most improved tayo. Maximum effort, di ba? Tayo Reynolds. So, here's the thing. The end goal, you would be surprised on how simple and basic it is. End of the year up until 2025.
Mhm.
By end of the year, Milo would have its Avengers.
Yeah.
Milo, speech buddy.
Mhm.
Milo, the next one is Otto, OTTO, occupational therapy buddy.
Nice.
Pato, physical therapy buddy, and Moko, mobile consultancy.
Nice.
The three apps are all the same tech. It's a copy paste of the tech with different content. The fourth one is a mobile consultancy where the doctors and the speech therapists and the occupational therapists can provide their service.
Got it.
That's what we want to happen. And right now, one of the things that we're trying to actively raise on is to build the first ever Milo Learning Center. A therapy center.
Not Milo Besta. Milo
would
Learning
be-
Center.
Ano,
Okay.
Milo Learning Center. So para sa mga para sa kasi kulang na kulang talaga, bro. And there are a lot of it's a tech-powered therapy center.
Okay.
So yun ang end goal for this year. And our goal right now is very basic as well. Go global.
That's amazing.
Make it
Yeah.
available. Help as much children as possible. That's it.
That is
Yun lang.
amazing. Appreciate it. Again, I wish we had a few more hours. But again, people are going to space out now and whatnot. But again, Vince, if they want to work with you, help you out and whatnot, where do they go and how to do that?
Oh, you can just go to my Speech Buddy Facebook page. We would answer you if you have, or you can email me, for example, at vince@mylo.ph, or just talk to Ron.
Okay, I'll do an
He'll
intro.
connect me with
There
you.
you go.
Nagkaroon ng secretary, no? Joke lang.
Sorry, Mom, Daddy Vince. I will do that. I'm Mom Shironster by. All right. Thank you so much, Vince. But before I let you go, follow us on whatever podcast app you listen to, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you did say some jargon, it's going to be the show notes on hustleshare.com. If you also want to support HustleShare, just like all the amazing brands and all the startups that support HustleShare and keep us documenting excellent stories like this, you can subscribe at premium.hustleshare.com. Again, thank you very much, Vince.
Thank you very much, brother. Rod, salamat. Please, guys, listen to the Spotify and subscribe. You would be hearing a lot of great founder stories. Salamat for having us.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.